They'll be
Your
okay.
vision helps you see nothing but possibilities. And verve in your hand? Well, let's just say that's how you get rewarded for not giving up on you. So, no matter what you're into, verve is key to opening the doors you want. So, have you got verve? Verve, the rewarding way to make payments.
The Grapevine on the Smooth Breakfast Show. Entertainment buzz with the gossip, local and global. All celebrity gist.
The Grapevine on Smooth 98. The rewarding.
Hello, hello, hello. It is an exciting day in Lagos because it's time for us to talk entertainment inside of the Grapevine 981. It's a part of Smooth Breakfast with Ayo
and Valentine.
Hello, good morning, Lagos. Join us in the conversation this morning. Send us messages through WhatsApp to 0809-444-0981. That number again is
0809-444-0981. You can also get us on Twitter with the hashtag Grapevine981.
Lagos, join us in the show this morning to do analysis to the stories with us. Our celebrity entertainment analyst is Folu.
Oh shit, please. These are just address me from now on.
Just
Everywhere I go, just put some respect on my name.
Yeah,
Good morning once more, Lagos. Excited to be here. I know about this pivot you're talking about. Do it from your heart. Walk from your heart.
Lagos, to bless us with the sound and to bless us, I like the fact that you brought her with you to us.
By her, Val means his
Mohiri.
guitar. He's talking about Sir Dauda in the building.
Sir Dauda's music box. Sir Dauda's lady, Mohiri, is in the studio with us. And Sir Dauda, we're so grateful to have you in the studio. I'm happy this morning because after watching the live session for Kalakuta, I told Lakmi, our producer, I told her, come on, really? Like, when was the last time you heard such a sound, such a good sound?
Right, so Val already hinted you to the fact that we're going to be reviewing Sir Dauda's song. Now, the challenge with reviewing an artist song when he's there is that sometimes you're trying to be like, we'll try to be as honest as possible.
Don't be nice, so don't be nice.
Don't worry.
Don't be polite. Exactly, don't be polite. Just like.
We're still not afraid of you. So Lagos, in our usual Grapevine tradition, we start by reviewing Sir Dauda's song. So this one is titled Landlord. Lagos, take a listen.
So this is the newest one. This is the one that was yes,
So the man is here first.
Yes,
so
mommy.
this is the first time.
No,
this is
landlord.
yes.
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 Thank you so much. I've done you more justice. Sorry.
Everybody they rush, keep up well, oh. Give me better food, job, good time well, oh. All because
Okay, my turn.
Okay, so that is Landlord, and Lagos, you just heard it here first. This is an official premiere to Sir Dauda's track, and it's called Landlord. It's officially going to be released to everybody else tomorrow. So if you're listening to it really here on Smooth 98.1 FM Lagos, you're the first in the world.
Ever.
Thank you, Sir Dauda. Thank you very much. And you couldn't have, obviously premiered it anywhere better.
Oh yeah.
So thank you.
So Folu.
All right, listen. I'm a fan of Sir Dauda's sound. I do remember coming across Kalakuta, a couple of other songs, back in the day, and just thinking, who is this guy? Where has this guy been? This is my whole life in this Nigerian music space. And I think it's great. Landlord has got a nice, sweet vibe to it. It's got a really sweet melody. It's reminiscent almost of like a love song in a lot of ways, actually.
Well, yeah. Well, love song in the sense it's more like an aspirational song than a love song. It's a song about like trying to think about everything that has happened up to getting to this point, what this point is, and then what the next few steps are. But like pride and confidence shine in oneself, and like just praying for the best for the future, basically.
I think that's why it sounds romantic to me, because it's almost like it's like a love song for yourself in a lot of ways.
Right,
It's-
exactly.
there-
Self-love.
but there is love in
Exactly.
it. There is
Self-love,
love
absolutely,
in it.
absolutely.
And you can hear that. I'm very interested because I wonder how much of your current life situation this reflects as well, because you just signed on
Oh yes.
somewhere,
oh,
didn't
yes.
you?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
oh,
bad
yes.
guy
Bad Guys
now.
Records.
Bad guys in
From
the
what I hear.
building.
Oh, shit.
Congratulations.
Thank
Um,
you so much.
That's the same record label for Fowls. as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he owned. Yeah, I think that's
Yes.
it.
And I find it absolutely interesting because Fowls and the bad guys in general are very, and have been actually throughout their career, I think, in a conscious space, and you have been. Why? So I'm now sorry, I've just jumped into
I
this
know.
because it's right beside me. So I want to know why, why this happened now at this
Okay.
time, why this was the right time for you.
Why the signing or why the song or why?
Both.
why okay.
Both.
Okay. Right. It really has been a long time coming. Both have
Okay.
been a long time coming. To be
Okay.
honest. The music part has always been this sort of is my headspace basically when it comes to music. There's music for everything. There's music for every emotion. This one in particular, aside from the fact that it was about me counting blessings and saying this is who I am and and this is where I want to be and I'm going to get there. But also it was also an expression of pride. I was newly rediscovering my surroundings, newly rediscovering my history, my heritage, and of course everybody in Africa, everybody in Nigeria has some kind of royal connection or whatever.
Okay.
But like I was discovering all that stuff, and I found some kind of pride, and I was like, you know what, you're a bad guy. Let's go, let's get this. So that's on that side. On the signing side, it had to happen. It had to happen. I've been a fan of his music for a while. I've been a fan of his work for Fowl's work and Bad Guys movement for a while. They move very creative. They move very there's something about that in this space that we're in now in the Nigerian music industry, because a lot of people are bringing in a lot of creativity into it, and the game is changing. So
Alright.
that had to happen.
So in your rediscovering process, did you discover that you are a sir? You are knighted.
Oh yes, sir. Oh yes, sir. Oh, I wasn't able to introduce myself properly and give my full.
Oh yeah, so
appellation.
please, go ahead.
So straight from the upper echelons of music, I am Sir Dauda, last born of the gods, first son of the ministry, high priest in the temple of music, keeper of the deep shop. And those are
Let me just say that, sir.
Yes, ma.
Sir, you are just going to help me
Yes, ma.
write my own introduction, so
But
that
let me
I'm
ask
going to record it and play it to people.
Not a
Yes, as
problem.
an introduction.
Thank
Oh,
you.
your voice notes.
Not a
Now, one
problem.
of the biggest concerns when an artist who has a unique sound, when he gets signed to a new label,
Right.
is that sometimes he's forced to change his sound to be a bit more commercial. Because the reason why you're signed is so that you can make some money for the label.
That's one
Would you?
reason,
Would you?
yes.
I mean, we're gonna play Kalakuta very shortly, and we'll
Okay.
see how either your sound has changed, whether it's remained the same, it has evolved, or it's become more commercial. But just ask, are you afraid of possibly being, moved to changing that sound?
Good question, but like I believe that we're more than one thing, right? As an artist, I'm like a sponge, or we are like sponges, right?
Yeah.
So we soak in everything around us, and we redistribute, so to say. We give our own perspective based on what we've taken in. But of course, there's a red sponge and there's a green sponge and there's a yellow sponge. Everybody's sort of different. Our perspectives are sort of different.
Yeah.
I think all the aspects that make me who I am musically, and just regularly, those things don't change. Certain things might change, your surroundings might change, the people you're with might change for
So
a
the
while, but
essence
the
of
core
you.
of who you are, exactly.
All right.
And that is still the filter that I pass everything through. So
Awesome. So now that you mentioned it, Ayo, let's listen to the track Kalakuta, just the live session, just to have a feel of how enthralled you heard it first.
yeah. That's the actual song.
So that will lead us into the break.
Same kid, different thoughts. You see my mind from a different orbit. Spit that kind of rhymes they can never forfeit. Flowing through your organs, endorphins, endorphins. Sink it.
No, I'm sorry.
This
I know. Valentine.
I see the light in the preacher's eyes.
I knew this. I hope you heard it. I said one of my
This is Chef Jet 3000
all-time
and you are
favorite
listening to
artist.
Smooth 98.1.
How you guys doing?
Good. Nice for the guest.
Indulging, spoiling yourself, treating yourself.
Welcome.
It's called a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's one of these two things. It's you making yourself feel better for the hard work. Let's call it a
No, Matthew is
reward.
My phone is not coming on. Because I tried calling, my phone is not coming
You want to share?
Okay. Yeah, because we're switched off.
You want to share the microphone?
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, I'm not going to keep it myself.
Thank you.
It's mine.
Matthew is already putting on. So come back.
The phone's on silent.
Phone is dead, down your side.
Yeah, we tried to reach you.
Okay. So is it that you can't charge the phone? It's just not coming.
It's just not coming on. It just went blank. This is the first studio.
Yes.
Yeah, when the mirrors studio.
Hey, no one.
Because it feels the same but
Yeah,
different.
different. No, it's because of the door. That's the door.
It's the exact same setup. It's just flipped.
No, this one. That one's like this.
On the mirror image. Yeah.
No miscommunication, no rain on your parade, just
So
something
build
you
it, they'll
can
put
rely
you
on
in
to
the
come through for you as you
You can carry
imagine.
it.
Of course,
Left
that's
transaction is swift and effective, and your purchase is made. And as you walk
When did you come here?
Delta.
Last month.
Last month.
That's what I thought.
Hey.
I potted. So Oliver and I are no longer on the same station. But you know I left Mozambique a long time ago.
Yeah.
Not a long time. How you guys doing now?
Hey, good.
Well done, well done. Let me see your work.
Matthew. Matthew. Please, I can't see my analyst.
Which means I should get out.
Excuse me. Respect
Like, get out.
Respect
Can you hear you? That's okay. Thank you. Really?
So she's an analyst now. Police analyst.
Yes, please.
Yes, I've upgraded. Now I receive.
You can't even talk to her anyhow.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Okay, me, she don't want to offer me coffee. Imagine.
Ayo, that's
It's very true. Is it me you're asking? Is it me that I should be asking?
interesting. As long as it hasn't been tapped into.
Every stumbling block is actually a stepping stone. Verbing your vision helps you see nothing
The
but
new song is
possibilities.
actually out.
Verb in your hand.
You say
Let's
tomorrow?
just say that's
Tomorrow.
how
I'm
you
next
get
case.
Really? Did you say this? Oh, well.
Imagine say that.
I thought that
You know,
you
these adverts. I see it now.
You had to see Valentine.
Yeah,
But this song is so popular.
The Cobham song.
so
Valentine, I just gave somebody your phone. Be kind. So when you're done, just give him your phone.
Alright, so we're
He doesn't have the
we
phone.
were
You have
going
to be,
listen to
nice
Forever
to
first, and then
Okay.
we'll
So I
play
should
about
give him
10,
my
15.
Yes, I've already given him on your behalf.
You know, last election they voted for the
Yes.
video. I think it was them.
I thought that's a
But this year,
I
Patriot
thought
has
you
lost
gave my
his
phone.
own.
Because it's good to be, you know,
Yeah.
share Valentine. Yeah.
Share
Your phone is already used, so when it's really just
Yeah.
They're trying to pay.
Oh yeah,
This is forever.
Yeah, this for the ladies for Valentine's Day. All the girls.
Yeah, just finished the
So Lagos, this is Forever, Johnny Drille song. One of the songs we're reviewing this morning on Grapevine.
Alright, so we're going up. Well, Mike's on now.
Lagos, we're back. You're listening to the Grapevine. It's a part of Smooth Breakfast with Ayo.
And Valentine.
And this Grapevine, the show of Grapevine is brought to you by Verb. So the song we just came back from the break with is titled Forever. And it's done by Johnny Drille, who, should I talk about? He was late.
I'm sorry.
Should
Good job, Valentine. Good job.
And the voice you heard just now is Folu Storms. In case you're just tuning in, it's a Grapevine special, but you get to hear her voice. I mean, what happened?
Special part. So Johnny Drille. So in your mind, you released the song first. You went on Instagram. In fact, I took that personal. Olu, he went on Instagram. Ayo, he went on Instagram and asked the ladies to leak their screen.
No, I was just.
How hygienic is that?
Come on, nasty, man.
I didn't even know you did that, and I already said that the women in Nigeria, not just ladies, are in trouble. Gosh.
Nah, just being goofy. And someone said that my phone screen is broken. I still need my tongue.
But what is okay? So let's focus on the song Forever. What are your thoughts, Will?
Oh right, I forgot. That's my part. No, listen, I love the song. I actually was recording my podcast yesterday, and these are the two songs that I put up, Forever and Shine. I believe we're also going to hear as well.
Yes.
You know, Johnny has got a distinctive voice, and I know that even here on the Grapevine, once or twice we've been like, well, are you going to try a different style? But if it's not broken, don't fix it. Forever it's a gorgeous song. It you know, for a lot of women especially, I think this is going to hit, you know, all those sweet spots and, you know, those romantic times. And shout out to people who are set up for Valentine's Day this year.
I see what you did there, Johnny Drille.
What did I do?
Tapping into the market.
No, he's ready.
Well,
He's
very
ready.
ready. I like your marketing strategy.
But I do like that there is a purpose and direction to it. I like that you clearly thought about where this is fitting in, and that's what you want to see from an artist who's evolving in the space and in their business. Because also at social media we were talking, you know, some artists were concerned about, you know, sometimes when you have a unique sound and you then end up with a label, is it going to change? How's it going to evolve? People want you to affect your music, and you know, and you are a clear reminder that you don't have to change who it is that you are. If you're good enough, if that music is selling, bro, it's cool. You're gonna still stay where you are, and I think this is definitely working for you. I thought you had a good Christmas. You were good.
So when I listened to the song yesterday, I stopped myself from listening to the song with my headphones. I put it down and connected it to the Bluetooth of my home theater. I did not care. But first, one thing I noticed was, I mean, relating to what Folu alluded to, how it connects with the season. And then a lot of people will be thinking about not baby showers, thinking about bridal showers now.
I think you didn't quite make a mistake there. Baby shower.
That was an error.
Was it?
So yes, it appeals to that crowd and the listening audience.
I'm very curious. How do men respond to your music? What sort of feedback do you get from your male demographic, of which I'm sure they're definitely a minority to the females?
You know what I actually think is they're actually the majority. I'm not playing. Like, well, if you go by Instagram insights, they're 54%.
Yes, some people have had reason to question.
I think it's just the girls, the ladies that will come at you and tell you they love your music, but the guys will love it in the background. But they just.
Are you saying that men are closet romantics? Because usually they're like, you know, I don't. But I think
we are.
Do you know this year we're changing the narrative for Valentine's Day? The women are not the ones who are going to be waiting. The men are going to show the men.
I know, right?
Why are you calling my name? Keep some respect for my name. Before this break, Lagos, you're listening to the Grapevine. Is brought to you by Verve. Before the break, we'll listen to Dauda's song, who's live in the studio with us. Dauda came in here and he blessed us with Mohiri, who's that's the guitar.
She has her pride of place.
Complete with our history.
Well, she actually has a scarf.
What else does she have? Does she have a clothing line now?
No. She has an
Instagram account.
She has an Instagram account. Follow Mohiri. Follow Mohiri of the ministry.
Interesting. Wonderful. That is something.
No, but she hasn't posted in a long time, so it's very
Who's going to find?
What's the handle?
What's the handle?
Mohiri of the ministry.
Of the ministry.
Yes. She's there.
So we have to quickly go to John Drille's second song.
Yes, but before that, quick reminder, Lagos, go on Twitter. Follow us at Smooth981FM, and you would find with the hashtag Grapevine981, you find the links to the songs that you just heard this morning. We're not done, we have more music for you. So the next one is from Johnny Drille, who was late.
Oh God. Well, I'll make sure not to be late next time.
I'm glad.
On the Grapevine, you're never late.
Because I would have called you out. So yeah.
So this one is titled Shine by Johnny Drille. Take a listen. We'll come back to
Yeah, because of people's reactions to the songs as well. Because some people like even comments on
This is my road trip
down
song. I'm going to Dauda. This is my actually in my
Driving song.
Oh,
So like driving song.
driving song. Road trip song.
It's a cool song.
Alright, we're going back on now. Michael.
So yes, this song reminded me of Ed Sheeran for some reason. When are you going to open for Ed Sheeran?
I'd love to open for Ayo Mairo-Ese at some point, but I'm opening for, I don't know, it's not happening yet, but John Bellion.
Ooh,
yeah.
I'm
In fact,
this is my time to find.
For his Nigerian concert.
Don't forget us.
See,
Don't ignore me when the bouncer is blocking me from the gate.
Come on, what are you talking about?
my head thought about John Bellion. My mouth
Yes,
said Ed Sheeran.
I've actually been a huge fan of John Bellion and Ed Sheeran as well. So yeah, of course, I'm looking forward to, well, when he does his Nigerian concert. But actually, I don't even want to wait for the Nigerian concert to open for him. I'll just tell him, I'll open anyway.
Exactly, you don't have to wait for the Nigerian concert.
Climb on the flights and get there. Hopefully, you're up on the song. What are your thoughts?
I was just telling him when we were on a quick break that this song is already set for my tour bus today. This is my driving song, so I'm ready. And it just feels that way, you know. It's a song that sets your mind sort of thinking and sort of free wandering, which I absolutely love. You know, I really wish I was a musician who, you know, understood, who studied like musical notes, because they're magic chords that show up sometimes that sound so familiar, and you know, strike. They call it saudade. That's what I think of it as, like nostalgia. You know? It feels that way. It feels like something half remembered, half forgotten, and it's absolutely beautiful. So, you know, I like it. I'm a fan of both these guys.
You said Dauda.
Yes, it's like a Portuguese word that kind of expresses nostalgia.
I'll keep the meaning, but I'll move to something just to rhyme, you know.
You are far away from the
I actually thought she said so.
Dauda. What do you think about that song you just heard, "Shine" by Johnny Drille?
Yeah, man, I've been a day one fan of Johnny Drille's, like his style, you know, the way he projects, the way it's just different, you know, and it's very soothing, you know, so I can understand why the ladies are. but apart from even that, just his raw talent. So like whoever it is, a guy or girl, you know, whoever it is that's listening to it, and then the stories. He's a storyteller, you know. So I love stories.
Johnny, how's the market treating you? Because would you say Nigerians are now appreciating your song, your sound?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot better than it used to be before. Back then, of course, there's people. Hey, we love your music, we love your sound, it's fresh. But now, like, a lot more people are actually paying attention, and a lot more people actually pay to. Then it was just, hey, we're doing so much out of passion. Hey, let's get the sound out there. But it's getting there. It's not exactly there, but it's a lot better than it used to be. And big shout out to everyone that's pushing all the sounds that are not Afrobeat or Afropop, because I feel like there's so many different beautiful sounds here, but before people were not paying enough attention. Thankfully now people are paying attention to Dauda. I'm also a huge fan. I wanted to cut because he was just talking about me, and I was saying anything. I'm also a huge fan. I've met him a couple of times, watched him perform live about three times. Last time was in December, and he's absolutely brilliant. I love his music. Actually, I can't wait for us to do something.
Group hug everyone. I was going to say that, of course, people love, I mean, the appreciation for your music is definitely evident. How many people wanted to enter your room in Lagos? Johnny's room. But I have to ask this question because I'm sure the fans out there want to know. You are, you know, obviously becoming the ladies' idol. You just have to go on your Instagram page and you see how they are claiming you for marriage and all that. What's the craziest thing any girl has done to you or for you?
Great question.
Trust me, don't.
Okay, say the PG one. PG one.
We do want to know.
Early in the morning.
So hold that thought. Lagos will come back. Answer that question. Just at Johnny Drille after the break, and then we'll take your messages. You're listening to the Grapevine, and it's brought to you by the
Smooth Breakfast Show. Entertainment buzz with the
Breakfast
gossip.
Show.
The Grapevine of the Smooth Breakfast Show.
Is it family show?
The Grapevine of the Smooth Breakfast Show. Entertainment buzz with the gossip. Local and global. Oh, celebrity
Love
gist.
music. Love life.
You're listening to The Smooth Breakfast.
What keeps you going when everything that should be a stepping stone becomes a stumbling block? What keeps you going is verve. Verve in your mind helps you understand that every stumbling block is actually a stepping stone. Verve in your vision helps you see nothing but possibilities. And verve in your head, well, let's just say that's how you get rewarded for not giving up on you. So, no matter what you're into, verve is key to opening the doors you want. So, have you got verve? Verve, the rewarding way to make payments. What keeps you going when everything that should be a stepping stone becomes a stumbling block? What keeps you going is verve. Verve in your mind helps you understand that every stumbling block is actually a stepping stone. Verve in your vision helps you see nothing but possibilities. And verve in your hand? Well, let's just say that's how you get rewarded for not giving up on you. So, no matter what you're into, verve is key to opening the doors you want. So, have you got verve? Verve, the rewarding way to make payments.
So Mike's.
Right, Mike's coming up.
Glad to know you're listening to us. This is The Grapevine, and it's brought to you by Verve. It's live on Smooth 98.1. Our special entertainment celebrity analyst is Folu Storms.
Thank you so much. But Dauda is still going to write me a better intro. So
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate you. I'm going to let you finish. But Dauda did it best.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Alright, so
I got you.
now that I've been curved, Lagos, let me take a few messages on WhatsApp. Now, Taiwo from Surulere says, I like the song from Dauda. His sound is so smooth, and I still feel it's like the feel of it, he said. And then there's
Thank you,
some
Taiwo.
from Cruz. Cruz says, speaking for the men, we simply appreciate very good music. The public display of affection happens somewhere else. Right? So Dauda and Johnny Drille, both of you, oh, by the way, they're both in the studio live with us, alright? So it's not their image, it's just them.
No.
They said, Biko, continue what you do, to both of you. Biko, do not drop your standards like the jollof ground.
The people have spoken.
Folu, they greet you. And then Biki from Kitsu says, Dauda, I love your vibes, you're a unique storyteller. You and Johnny Drille should do a collaboration.
Well, I think we have a Grapevine exclusive because John Drille has said he's looking forward to a collaboration with
No,
Dauda.
It's a given. It must happen.
It's a given, it must.
It's gonna happen.
Maybe we
It's
should
gonna
let this year pass off soon.
happen.
Because all these big mutterings that are happening in the studio.
No, it's gonna happen. It's going to happen.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. So, John Drille, back to your question.
Oh, wow.
So before the break, there was a question I was put to you.
Let's go.
I'll put it to you.
I put it to you that some girls are crazy about you, and so what's the craziest thing, PG, friendly, radio friendly, that any girl has done or done to you in your inbox, in public?
Oh, well, aside those that travel across states to try to see me, there was one time I went for an event at some school, and I don't know how she did it, but she figured out my hotel room number.
Oh, wow.
So someone knocked at the door, and then I opened, and it was like, and before I could say anything, she came into the room, and I handled it well.
Well done.
Thank you.
End of story.
Might I ask how you handled it?
I handled it well. I'm a child of God. I'm very well trained. So yeah, we handled it well.
Okay, so let's pay you.
I know that there are a number of gentlemen out there. Yeah, you handled it, bro.
You handled it.
Not to your hotel room door.
So Dauda is here choking. You think that we have
Do you understand?
I'm trying to ask more interesting
English
stuff.
and speaking, you have romance your guitar. But not come to real human beings.
Exactly. So Dauda, what's your story?
Man, yo, guys.
There's so many. He's trying to pick one.
No. Well, I mean, crazy stories, man.
Don't worry, Mohiri is not jealous.
Mohiri, she's listening. She's listening to everything I'm saying.
Okay.
No, crazy stuff. Like, I mean, people were crazy. There were times that were in the. I'm really editing in my head. Okay, but let's just say no. People do crazy things. I mean, people would but I've always been a person that doesn't really go out so much. I don't really, so the opportunities that they get to attack me basically, and we end up having a good time. I try to make everything as he says, on the child of God level. I try to redirect every curveball and put it back inside.
You just sweat through this whole question.
It's
okay.
Legal training. Sometimes it helps.
I was enjoying all the stuttering and
I'm sure they're enjoying it too. So yeah.
Also, very quickly going through the messages. Zook from Yaba says, "See me smiling when I heard for this voice." So Olahi, I've missed you. Henry Okaro says, Casey and Quincy released a song last year titled Landlord.
I don't think. Well, it's not. You have the allowance. I put it that way to still sing a song like that.
And everybody's trying to be a landlord,
right?
Everybody has the opportunity to do what they want to do.
Exactly.
Kemi G loves both of you and your sound and your music. And Olajide from Magodo says, "All I want to ask is, Johnny, please, when are you dropping the album?"
Honestly, I'd love to drop an album. I was going to drop a project last year. But what I'm not sure of is if I want to drop an album or if I want to drop an EP. But I'd love to put a body of work. But at the same time, we're also trying to pace ourselves and not be in a hurry to do certain things and be sure that, hey, people actually want an album, because you don't want an album that just like a few people. I want an album that would be appreciated by a lot of people, not just like selected few.
So timeline?
Yeah. Well, probably year end or probably.
All right. So let's quickly jump into one or two stories. Lord help us through this. Now, Liam Neeson, his film's red carpet was cancelled. The event was cancelled amid racism brawl. So he had allegedly said that he was going to do some unsavory things to somebody who assaulted a friend of his, a female friend of his. Yeah, the friend was raped, and it seemed like the culprit was of a black race, to black, and they're missing use of words, but people do not like that backlash on that.
Yeah, he used very racist terms. He said that he went into like black areas just waiting for some black, B word to just show up so he could unleash violence. And I know a lot of people have been really offended by this, especially following Jussie Smollett's attack. So people are just saying, listen, this is Trump's America, this is what's happening. But Liam Neeson did have a point in his explanation where he says he's just trying to show that people are not as politically correct in this country or in any country as they pretend to be. And these are facts. The reality is that human beings are fallible. We are not perfect. In Nigeria, if you hear the way, all the terminology we use is either tribal or racist in some term, in some form. And very few people are conscious of what they're saying. They just open their mouths and say it. So I think the more that we begin to recognize the reality of what exists, the better it will be to be able to deal with people who are being hidden, who are sort of hiding under this political correctness, but actually deep in their spirits and in their hearts they have a lot of negativity. He did point out that, to be honest, for him it didn't really matter necessarily the color, just happened to be a black person at that time, but he probably would have addressed it in any which way. But he was shocked at the strength of his reaction and the things that he was capable of thinking and saying because it was a black person, or because this had happened. So it just shows you what could happen to anybody if they're put in that kind of situation where your worst, almost like the worst parts of yourself begin to show up. I've seen how people sometimes address Lebanese community here in Nigeria when they're upset or when they're angry, and it the first time I heard certain terms used, I was a bit shocked, and I thought, really? This is how you really feel, bro? This is how you really feel? But it's human nature. So I think it's going to be a huge backlash for him. I think it is going to affect him because we are in a politically correct time, and I think that in America at the moment, because of all the things going on, it's a really poor time for him to be educating anybody on this. But it also tags on to our next story, which talks about Kevin Hart, since he stepped down from being the Oscars host. And it was over homophobic slurs
that he made years ago on Twitter.
And again, to me, to me, first of all, A, human nature again, but B, he's a comedian. In the line of his work, there is no group of individuals that will not be attacked. Female, male, it doesn't matter.
Disabled people,
everybody.
But do you think that we as a people are a bit more sensitive? Because there's been that argument that it's just a joke, take a joke, or sometimes, like you mentioned, human beings are human. So when you get upset, you say things that you don't mean sometimes.
I think that we're a lot more exposed globally in the world, and that's really the issue. Is that because everything is so hyper connected, we're seeing a lot more of ourselves. I think there are places that there definitely is no time for joking, but the context is how humans interact. I'll be honest.
I mean, I'll be forced to ask both of you, Johnny Drille and Dauda, live in the studio with us, our guest, and of course, really you go through these kind of emotions. When people say things to you, upset you, especially on social media in the comment section, how do you calm yourself down?
I try not to care what people say, basically. But like to the two people that we just spoke about.
Yes.
Well, one of them is an actor, one of them is a comedian. We'll never have known.
They're both actors, well.
Exactly. Sorry.
Kevin Hart is
my
a comedian
bad.
as well, but
sometimes he's more an actor than a comedian. So all these things I don't. I would say that we'd never have known. Liam Neeson is brave to say that because we'll never have known, and he was talking about trying to get into a part that he was acting.
Yes. And
sometimes an actor, you have to go into some deep dark places to be able to personify that character that they're giving you.
That's right.
So I think I'm not happy with what he said, but I also recognize that he was born in a very different time. He grew up in he was 25 when he said that, which when he did that, when that happened to him. But like I think I'm glad that he's taking responsibility for it. He recognized that it was a bad thing to do, it was a bad mental state to be in, and Kevin Hart as well. I know he's apologized a couple of times. As Folu was saying, people who are in the limelight will definitely, there'll be several points of attack. You will say different things that you might not mean, or you might not. But I'm glad that it's out in the public. Everything is getting out in the public, and people are at least we're talking about it, which is
right. That's right. Johnny Drille, how do you put yourself in a Zen mode?
Well, I guess for me, the way I see social media now, everyone on social, the way it's set up, everyone kind of has an opinion, and they can express it. But for me, of course I get online sometimes and I see all that stuff. I see some people saying, hey, this, that, whatever. I think of course there's some that are very, very objective, and of course it's okay to take those and reflecting them and but then there's some of them that just want to troll you, just want to make you feel bad. And we can separate all these we can separate them from each other.
And focus on the music, right?
Exactly.
So talking about the music, where do we find your songs? So we listen to the great tracks. Dauda precisely just premiered the first single under the Bad Boys Records. The first time everybody's Bad Guys. Sorry, Bad Boys. I'm thinking about the movie. I'm sorry. the song is officially released tomorrow.
Yes,
what platforms are we going to be looking at?
All of it is going to be on Apple. It's going to be iTunes. It's going to be wherever you can find music. Spotify, everywhere, and then there'll be things on Instagram, there'll be things on YouTube, there'll be anywhere we can find music. Yes, landlord, ladies and gentlemen, landlord. It's about to happen. Let's do this. Let's do it.
Oh well, of course I've got 2 new songs now. One's Shine, the other's Forever. So check them out. You can go on my social media. There's a link on my bio.
And link the screen.
So licking screen, something, sir.
No, licking screen is over. We're done with that. Okay. But if you still want it, it's fine.
I'm
just playing.
Guys, plug out. Lick at your own risk.
Me, I don't have music, but I do have a podcast that is out. You can find it on SoundCloud and iTunes. In the booth with Folu Storms. And don't forget as well, I've got vlogs up. Every Tuesday I put up a new vlog on productivity. So if you're interested in getting into the creative space, if you're interested in just being more productive, do go check that out. It's youtube.com/FoluStorms.
Thank you very much for coming in, Folu. Thank you very much, Johnny Drille. Thank you very much, Sir
Oh yeah, and I'm on tour with CBN as well, so guys check that out.
Well done.
Watch my social media. Things are happening.
Like a boss.
The hustle is real. Lagos, you're listening to the Grapevine here on Smooth 98.1, and it's brought to you by Verve. At the top of the hour, we will be talking Lagos for Lagos Talks 91.